And I kept saying, is this a scam? No, ma'am, it's not a scam.
In this exclusive video obtained by the ABC7 I-Team, police stop an 82-year-old woman from sending $27,000 to a scammer through a Bitcoin ATM.
Jim Meduri is a father from San Jose, California, who had built a stable life for his family through years of hard work and careful financial planning. According to Meduri, he lost $15,000 to a sophisticated impersonation scam that exploited one of the most powerful emotions a parent can experience: the fear that their child is in serious trouble. The scam began with a single phone call early one morning, a call that would send Meduri and his wife racing to a Bitcoin ATM machine at a nearby bakery, feeding $100 bills into the machine one at a time, believing they were saving their son from a legal catastrophe. The morning started like any other for the Meduri family in San Jose. Jim Meduri describes receiving an unexpected phone call in the early hours, a time when most calls signal emergency or crisis. According to Meduri, the voice on the other end was crying, emotional and distressed. The caller claimed to be his son, saying he had been arrested following a DUI accident that involved a pregnant woman. Meduri says the voice sounded convincing enough to bypass his initial skepticism. The emotional distress in the caller's voice, the cracking and breaking that happens when someone is crying, altered the voice just enough to make it plausible. According to Meduri, it was close enough to his son's voice to make him believe the unthinkable had happened. The caller, still claiming to be Meduri's son, directed his father to contact a defense attorney who could help with the situation. When Meduri made that call, he reached someone identifying themselves as a criminal defense attorney who had supposedly been assigned to handle his son's case. The attorney told Meduri that bail had been set at $15,000 and that immediate payment would be necessary to secure his son's release from custody. According to Meduri, the attorney's supposed staff members then provided specific instructions on how the bail money should be paid. Rather than directing him to a courthouse or bonding company, they told him he needed to pay the court directly through a Bitcoin ATM machine located at a bakery near his home. For someone unfamiliar with cryptocurrency or how the legal system actually operates, the instructions might have seemed unusual, but not impossible. According to Meduri, he and his wife immediately went to the specified location, driven by urgency and parental instinct to help their son. Meduri describes the experience of standing at the Bitcoin ATM with his wife, inserting $100 bills one at a time into the machine. The couple fed their money into what they believed was a legitimate payment system connected to the courts. According to Meduri, that was basically what it took to complete the transaction, following the step-by-step instructions they had been given over the phone. What Meduri did not know at the time was that he was placing money directly into a Bitcoin account, sometimes called a wallet in cryptocurrency terminology, that belonged entirely to the scammers operating the fraud. The Bitcoin ATM converted each $100 bill into cryptocurrency and transferred it immediately to an address controlled by the criminals. Once the $15,000 had been fed into the machine and converted to Bitcoin, the transaction was complete from the scammer's perspective. According to Meduri, the supposed attorney and his staff members then went completely silent. Phone calls went unanswered. The communication channels that had been so active and urgent suddenly disappeared. Growing concerned about the sudden silence and wanting to check on his son directly, Meduri tried calling his son's cell phone. When his son answered the call, speaking normally and clearly not in jail or in any legal trouble, Meduri immediately realized the devastating truth. The entire scenario had been an elaborate scam. There had been no accident, no arrest, no bail hearing, and no defense attorney. The emotional voice claiming to be his son had been an impersonator, and the $15,000 was gone. Despite the sophisticated nature of the fraud and the speed with which cryptocurrency transactions typically disappear into untraceable digital networks, this particular story includes an element that sets it apart from thousands of similar cases. Meduri's next call after discovering the scam was to the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Fraud Unit, where attorney Aaron West worked on cases exactly like his. According to West, cryptocurrency operates on a blockchain, which functions as a public ledger recording every transaction that occurs within the network. West explains that when investigators were able to identify where Meduri had sent his money, they could trace the transaction path on the blockchain. The fraud unit sent an email that same day to the platform or exchange where the scammer's Bitcoin wallet was hosted, requesting that the funds be frozen immediately pending the issuance of a formal warrant. According to West, this rapid response allowed authorities to freeze the $15,000 before the scammers could move it to another wallet or convert it to a different form. The fraud unit subsequently obtained a warrant, and authorities were able to recover Meduri's money and return it to him. The warning signs in this case are clear when examined with the benefit of hindsight and knowledge of how legitimate legal systems operate. Courts and law enforcement agencies do not accept bail payments through Bitcoin ATMs or any form of cryptocurrency. Bail is processed through established bonding companies, court clerk offices, or electronic payment systems directly connected to the judicial system. The request to use a Bitcoin ATM should have been an immediate red flag that something was wrong. Additionally, legitimate defense attorneys do not cold call family members claiming to represent someone who has just been arrested, and they certainly do not direct clients to cryptocurrency machines for payment. According to information available through law enforcement agencies, any request to pay government fees, court costs, or bail through cryptocurrency or gift cards is virtually certain to be a scam. Despite these indicators, the emotional manipulation and time pressure applied by the scammers created a situation where Meduri's parental instincts to help his child in crisis overrode his ability to recognize these warning signs in the moment. The Meduri family's case has been resolved with the successful recovery of their $15,000, but this outcome is extraordinarily rare in cryptocurrency fraud cases. According to authorities, the vast majority of Bitcoin ATM scams result in permanent loss because by the time victims realize they have been defrauded, the cryptocurrency has been moved through multiple wallets, converted to other digital currencies, or transferred overseas where recovery becomes virtually impossible. The family filed a report with the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Fraud Unit immediately upon discovering the scam, and that rapid reporting, combined with the specialized expertise of attorney Aaron West's team, made recovery possible. As of now, the investigation into the perpetrators continues, but the scammers themselves remain unidentified and likely operate from overseas locations where prosecution is extremely difficult. According to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, cryptocurrency fraud has become one of the fastest-growing categories of financial crime in recent years. Bitcoin ATMs, which were originally designed to provide convenient access to cryptocurrency for legitimate users, have been increasingly exploited by scammers operating various fraud schemes. Authorities report that these machines have become the favorite tool of international criminal networks because transactions are immediate, difficult to reverse, and can be accessed by victims in thousands of locations across the country. The emergency or family crisis scam that targeted the Meduri family represents one of several common variations, alongside romance scams, tech support fraud, and government impersonation schemes that all increasingly direct victims to Bitcoin ATMs as the final payment method. Authorities advise that anyone receiving an unexpected call claiming that a family member is in legal trouble should hang up and independently verify the situation by calling the family member directly using a known phone number. Officials recommend never making financial decisions under time pressure, especially when directed to use unconventional payment methods like cryptocurrency, wire transfers to unfamiliar accounts, or gift cards. Experts warn that legitimate government agencies, law enforcement, courts, and attorneys will never demand immediate payment through Bitcoin ATMs or threaten consequences for failure to pay instantly. The Meduri family hopes that by sharing their story, other parents and family members will recognize the warning signs of this cruel scam and avoid falling victim to criminals who exploit the powerful bond between parents and children for financial gain.